Hello. When I came on tonight, I thought to myself about how long it's been. It's been a minute. This is my first time going live all year. I'm gonna give it a minute for my mommy to join. How long it's been? It's been a minute. This is my first time. Hello, 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 hello. First of all, it is January 12th. Where's the year going? I feel like I lost the first. Well, I kind of did lose the first week because of month and year end close actually. Um, but alas, here we are. So this actually was meant to happen last week, last Monday to be exact. On my way home from work, I was on the train and I considered doing this very live last week, but I got home and I had to get to work and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, here we are. So I used to think that I understood consistency, right? It wasn't until, um, I guess, like, well, I mean, because I've always respected the terminology, but recently I've grown to respect it more and more, right? Um, I now understand that consistency isn't about doing more, it was about no longer abandoning myself. I have a guest. Who do I have with me today? Wait, see, it's been so long that I forgot how to do this. um, I don't know. Anyway, before I begin, I wrote this book, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts. It is available at societyofintroverts.com, Amazon, and everywhere books are sold online. So, oh, I didn't even say welcome. Welcome to Antonio's Blissful Corner, your quiet space for reflection, growth, and peace. It's 2026. I don't do what do you call it? New Year's resolutions. I don't do those things, but I do believe that for the new year, we should always consider new goals, new ideas, and new growth, right? We should always thrive to be better than we were, whether it was yesterday, last week, or last year. We should always thrive to be better. Oh, I think I was in the wrong place. No, it wasn't. Um, hey, Jeannie! See, you're trying to see, it's been so long, I forgot where to go. Hey, Jeannie, Happy New Year. Thank you. Thank you for joining me. Um, so it's 2026, like new things. And before I talk about my word of the year, I want to acknowledge something honest. Growth doesn't always follow the calendar. Sometimes life needs a moment to settle. And sometimes we need a moment to settle within ourselves, right? My word for 2026 is consistency. I've always appreciated that word, but I have grown to respect it even more. For me, consistency isn't perfection, it isn't hustle, it isn't pressure, and it definitely isn't doing everything every single day. I mean, sometimes I feel like people think that, consistency is like doing this thing routinely every single day, and it doesn't have to be. Consistency it's not about giving up, it's about continuing. So whether it's every other day, every week, um whatever your routine is, and sometimes it's whether you can, right? Hey, Veronica. Consistency is choosing to keep going. Consistency is building muscle, not the kind that you see. It's basically, like the mental and the memory muscle. You know how people say, like, like once you like grow muscle, there's always there like muscle memory in your brain too. Your brain is a muscle, right? So the kind that teaches you slowly but surely. And this thing that once felt impossible, because for me, like, I've grown, heck, just in 2026. I can't wait to share with y'all what I've done in 2026. But like I said, I wanted to do this video since last week, but life got in the way in the form of corporate America, because it was year end close. But nevertheless, I think sometimes I kind of give myself a little, why you not? Why you not? Why you not? And I have learned to basically like just go with the flow. Okay, so what I wanted to do it yesterday and I couldn't. Today's another day because I'm not doing that anymore, right? Consistency is important though for us introverts. We love it. I remember one time I told a friend that I like consistency because consistency comes with rhythm, routine, predictability. It's comfortable, right? And if we're really being honest, we love being consistently comfortable. I mean, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with that? But consistency doesn't only live in comfort. Sometimes it gives us just enough courage to step outside of it without panicking. Before all of this, I started doing morning messages back in 2022. And I actually started to do a video, but I was trying to get like basically put together like all of the videos. And I didn't finish it, but I'm gonna do it one of these days. But Lord knows, when I started, the videos were not perfect. I look back at them now and I laugh, right? Because I laugh at how I decided to do that thing back then. And it started off being a joke at first. Like it was me being in Jamaica for the first time since COVID. And I was like, good morning, sunshines. I'm here in paradise. Have a nice day. And I look at that video and I'm like, oh my gosh, right? Um, and I'm grateful because I chose to basically do that thing that was very uncomfortable in that moment, but nevertheless, I did it, right? It was very uncomfortable. I look back and it was messy, but messy to me, maybe not messy to somebody else, but for me, ugh, right? But I started. I started very uncomfortable, very scared. And, starting allowed me to evolve because at some point I became consistent, right? So it's almost as if like through inconsistency, through the awkwardness, through the discomfort, through consistency, like consistently doing those things, I found my voice, right? I used to hate the sound of my voice. And so doing those videos allowed me to like my voice, and it allowed me to basically like just be my quirky, silly self, laugh at myself, and, basically like just, it helped me to, allow my light to shine, right? It was already shining, but now I'm basically allowing it to go low, right? Because sometimes we try to dim it to make people comfortable. May not do that no more. I am not doing that anymore, right? Anyway, after those messages, here comes YouTube. I did faceless channels, and I had no intentions of doing a channel where I'd be, recording videos, let alone going live, right? But I did. Here I am, right? The faceless channel was a part of this. I saw videos on YouTube about doing faceless channels, and I was like, well, I guess that's the way to get in. And I didn't realize at the time that was basically God setting me up, to basically do this, right? Because I mean, God is intentional, right? So by any means necessary. But in 2025, those of you who follow me and watch my videos, you know that I um, decided to do this 50 day straight live um, challenge. It wasn't really a challenge. I didn't consider it a challenge, um, but nevertheless, I did, and I'm grateful because I got the idea from watching the Think Media podcast where Michael Zuber mentioned it. And in the beginning, I'm not even gonna front. I actually was um terrified. I was terrified because I was like 50 days. And then I decided to do 25 days because it felt more digestible. But then after 25 days, I continued to not only 50, but 52 days. And then I would come on every so often after that. And then I didn't do another one. Well, I did, I think it was a 4 hour, 41 minute New Year's Eve. Well, yeah, New Year's Eve into New Year's Day live. And that was fun because I had some of my YouTube soul friends and my sister. So Veronica and I are birthday twinsies, same same day, same time, not the same year though. But we were on, and it was fun because we celebrated breaking in the new year. I think it was 4 different time zones, and I thought that when I went to bed that morning, again we got off at like 4:41, I think. I just thought about how proud I was of myself for choosing to do that because it wasn't anything that I had considered, doing before. Like it was nothing that I would have done before, right? But it just goes to show for me how showing up basically builds the courage, builds the um like it's almost as if like I no longer I'm concerned about what people think, not what people say. Because even though sometimes we'd be like, oh, I don't care, we do. So we do. But my skin is growing thicker and I'm growing bolder and I'm loving it, right? I'm truly enjoying this chapter of my life because now I am growing into her, like I'm growing into the person that God meant for me to be, right? I have found my voice, I'm using it in this way, and I'm also choosing to not use it when I don't need to, i.e., I ain't wasting my time with people, right? So anyway, I did it, right? I did the challenge, and I don't I have it I have video ideas that I need to record, but time, right? Time. Anyway, I'm grateful that I have become braver, and I think also that it helps when you there are people who actually embrace the messages and like what you were saying, because I think in the beginning I used to be like, nobody ain't gonna want to listen to what I got to say because there's so many other people out there that's so much greater, have a bigger voice. But at the end of the day, you don't know whose message, like, you don't know whose timeline your message is going to end up on. And that's what I'm realizing, because it's the same with me too, right? So that's how I end up consuming other people's messages. When we did the YouTube New Year's Eve live, I was speaking about a channel that I've grown to love. I watch this channel every day, and it's the Gifted Event. And it's I don't remember his last name, but his first name is Vernon, and he's a barber, and he gives haircuts to special needs children. And I love watching it because I love seeing how he does it, right? Because he is gifted in that way, because not everyone can do what he does, right? He has a way with children, no matter how rambunctious, no matter how quiet, no matter what, he has a way of getting through to them, right? But I brought it up to say that his messages made its way to my timeline for a reason, right? And I think that that's how it works. Um, Throughout this process, though, I will say that in 2025, I learned how to rid myself of the training wheels. I realized I didn't need them anymore. I stopped reaching for hand holding because I really and truly was so trying to get somebody, just be here, just be beside me, you know, so that I can feel comfortable knowing that someone is in the room or wherever, right? But I'm grateful that I'm at the place now where I am comfortably standing on my own too. Me and my girl. I'm gonna tell you who my girl is in a minute. Um, those moments of feeling like I needed training wheels or um, a human crutch, those were safety nets that I thought that I needed. But consistency showed me I was capable the whole time, right? It's just that sometimes I think we doubt ourselves. So now let's talk about what consistency is not, because many people misunderstand it. I used to. Consistency is not perfection. It is not never missing a day. We can miss days what we want. It's not forcing yourself through exhaustion. It's not abandoning yourself to prove discipline. And it's definitely not performing for approval. When consistency breaks, and it will, introverts tend to spiral. We do. We overthink. We assume we failed. We act like the pause erase everything we've done. Like, oh my God, I just built that whole house, and because I didn't do anything for 2 weeks, it's gonna be demolished. It ain't like that. It really isn't. Well, breaking consistency doesn't erase the process. It doesn't. The progress. It doesn't. Stopping altogether does. Like when you choose to basically give up. So I started building a house and you decided to basically take a break, and next you know you don't go back. Yeah. You broke your consistency, right? Hey, country love. Consistency isn't the absence of interruption. Consistency is the return after interruption. Now, I mentioned that we were on New Year's Eve, and well, that's New Year's Eve night. So Veronica was here in the chat. Her channel is at I Inspire. I swear to God, I gotta. It's like a tongue twister. At Aya Inspired Tarot. And she, in one of my readings, she's mentioned that I should forgive the little girl in me. And then she mentioned something about having tea. And I was like, oh, good idea. And then in another reading, like a few days later, she mentioned a promise ring. So here's the ring. I don't know if anyone can see. You can see it. It's very thin, right? I'm not giving you my middle finger. There's the ring right here. And let me tell you how this ring is powerful, because every time I look at this ring, I'm reminded that I promised the little girl in me that I'm going to be there. Because I feel like, the apology wasn't meant to, you know, it wasn't about feeling guilty about doing anything. It was more so about acknowledging the fact that I wasn't there for myself when I needed to be, right? So, and it wasn't about sitting in regret either, because there isn't anything that happened that was bad that I regret, because all of those things that were bad made me who I am today, right? Um, all of those people who I think failed me, all of my friends, and I hate to say friends, but I mean it is what it is. But all of everything happens for a reason, and everything there's a lesson. And I remember one of my either at least one of the mentors that I've had, told the group that we should embrace failure. We should want to fail. And I remember when they first said, I'm like, I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I like the sound of this. But I have grown to appreciate it. I have grown to like failing, because in failure there are lessons. Like, so if you don't fail, you ain't gonna learn nothing. So I like failing. Like, I mean, I don't get up every day and say, I want to fail today. I wake up and I choose joy, and then I go about my business. And if something happens, then I acknowledge it and I keep going. Like, I'm choosing not to allow things to break my stride, right? So, anyway, I thanked that little girl for waiting for me, letting her know that I'm here now and I'm staying consistently, right? It was less of an apology and more of a reunion, a moment of commitment. When I tell you that these people in this house laughed at me when I told them I'm gonna have tea with myself, and I started to have conversation, they look at me like, yo, she crazy. And I'm like, I am not. But I think that it was a wonderful um, suggestion that Veronica made, because I think that it's a form of therapy. Therapy is necessary, right? I think therapy exists in any way, shape, or form. I like to run and walk, and for me, that is cardio therapy, right? I love to be in nature, right? But then I also, I've had a therapist, like a number of years ago. I think that it's a very healthy thing to do, and I think that, we as we grow, we bury um, secrets from the past, things that we never allowed ourselves to share. And, so therefore, I feel like for me, it was a way for me to basically release that. I mean, there's still things, don't get me wrong, there's still things that I need to basically work on, or basically, and I think over the course of time, I'll share it here, because this is a therapy session in case you didn't know. So thank you. Don't bill me though. And, but in that moment, I felt a weight lifted. It was an experience, right? And I appreciated that I chose to do it on the 21st of December, because I decided to just leave that in 2025 and enter 2026 different with her, right? With her. So yes, even if I'm washing dishes, cooking, whatever, when I look down and I see that little this golden ring, I remember her, and I remember that I will always be there for her consistently. Anyway, that's when I decided that I'm going to do better. I'm going to be more firm with my responses, right? Or not, because no is like, so silence. I've grown to basically respect that silence is an answer, right? So, um, this ring is a promise that I will consistently protect her, consistently choose her, consistently stay with her, consistently, right? And now I want to be transparent about something. I told y'all I planned to do this last week. I wanted to do this. Oh, my word for the year is consistent. Consistently. I'm going to be consistent. And I was walking up the street when I was coming home, but I got home, and last week was year end close. And I keep forgetting, like, not to make like real plans during year end close, because my time ain't my time. But the reality of it is, even so, and when I tell you that I planned, I had it in my head what I was going to do, right? But my spirit told me, no, that's not what I want you to do. Because you know how they say that you make plans and God laughs? That's what happened to me last week, right? So anyway, year end close, I had late nights, um, number crunching and deadlines and training someone new. So it was a lot. It was a lot of mental bandwidth. And for a moment, I told myself I wasn't being consistent. Like I wasn't following through on my plan. Because even I don't have my book in here with me, but I refused to even take any notes or jot down anything because I needed to get my 2026 planner when I went to Marshalls, because Marshalls had them on a cheap, costly. I mean, like cost effective. They didn't have. At least I didn't see any when I went, and so work got in the way, and basically I had to basically stay focused. So on, I think it was on Saturday. Yes, Saturday I decided to walk over to the mall. And why did I go over there? I don't even remember why I went that way. Oh, I went to the grocery store and I decided to go to the mall. And I was going to go to Burlington to check. But then my spirit said, how about you take a gander in Home Goods? And I thought, Home Goods? And when I tell you that they had the same book that I had last year, that's why I said my spirit. Anyway, I got my planner, and today I started to transfer notes from 2025 into 2026. Anyway, I digress. Um, what I realized though is that um, even though I thought that I wasn't being consistent last week with the plans that I had, I was consistent, just not in the way I originally planned, right? So Veronica said, I just got my ring yesterday and thought of you. Oh, thank you. Thank you for thinking of me. So while I'm not going to say I couldn't, while I did not, well, I couldn't because I was working. I didn't have, well, I was going to say I didn't have time, but that's not true. What I didn't do was I did not create the content or actually plan the content that I had meant to. I ended up doing something totally different. So that's what I'm saying. It's not even about time. It's about shifting, right? So I shifted what I wanted to do to what my spirit told me I needed to do. And when I woke up, I think I don't remember how many days before the new year, my spirit told me that I had to write a newsletter. I had to start sending out newsletters. I'm like, what? I mean, on all the other things that I'm doing, how? But if he tells you that you got to do it, he knows how. So I was like, all right. And I was like, so I'm going to send it. And they were like, from my website. And I was like, but the website is the landing page. Because when I first wrote my book, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts, I had Fiverr create the landing page. And it was solely for the purpose of selling my book, Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts. Um, but then I think it was last year. I don't remember when exactly. I remember I was going to an interview on a radio program in Connecticut, and I decided to put a quiz on the website. So I did, and it was cute, but it wasn't. It was just cute, right? And I thought, okay, well, the quiz is there because my whole goal is to basically build a community, an online community. But I'm doing it in my at my pace and in the way that feels comfortable to me. I'm not in a rush, right? And so when my spirit said, like you got to send it from the society of introverts.com, I'm like, and I was like, all right, I guess I got to do a facelift. I guess I got to basically redo it. So then I was like, maybe I'll hire Fiverr. But I was a little skeptical for a few different reasons, right? And so I was like, I got this, I'll do it. But of course, there's this thing called time that I ain't got. So when I tell you, I was up until like sometimes 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning working on this thing. I'm gonna do a video about sleep, another video about sleep. Um, but anyway, I decided that I wanted to do a facelift for the Society of Introverts.com. And before going to bed this morning at after 1, and I was thinking, our alarm is set for 4:24. We're going into office tomorrow. What are you doing? And I was like, I will not go to bed until I launch this thing. Now, I basically launched it is visible now. So please visit and please join my community. Um, but I decided that I just needed to do it. Like I just needed to do it. And I was glad. I'm going to go back when I get off here to go back and tweak certain things. But I'm so pleased with the way that it looks. There's a photo on the first page with a black lady sitting on a couch with a turtle next to her. Y'all know I love me some turtles. In case you didn't know, I love turtles. But anyway, I was proud of myself because it made me realize that though I had plans to do other things, that's not what God had planned for me. So I was consistently showing up, but just not for the things that I had planned to, right? And so I built my beautiful, blooming community without even, it wasn't even a thought 2 weeks ago, right? And it was a thought last year to do it at some point, but it wasn't a thought to do it in early 2026. So I am grateful, right? Um, the Society of Introverts, for me in my mind, like the thing that I'm thinking about is it will be a home for introverts, a space that reflects who I'm becoming in this season. So yes, my consistency didn't allow my original blueprint, but it still fulfilled the assignment. Consistency isn't about pushing through exhaustion. It's listening, it's returning, it's honoring where your energy is needed. Speaking of energy, on the train today, even last week, when I tell you that sometimes, because sometimes I don't feel tired, but I recognize because I don't feel physically tired, but my brain is tired, and sometimes I'm trying to like switch off this, go to sleep, but it won't go to sleep. So I take my snoozes anywhere and anytime, right? So lately I'm getting on the train, and thank God, coming home, or at least the train that leaves from New Jersey, it's the last stop in Manhattan, and I woke up when it said, shh. So basically, after it parked and it's basically doing its thing, and I was like, thank God it's the last stop. And these New York people, they're not waking nobody up. They're not waking nobody up. But I was glad. I was glad that it was the last stop because otherwise, God only knows where I would have ended up. But I'm happy to take those little quick naps because it's a way that I recharge my battery. And I think that that is how I'm able to basically keep going and act like I'm the Energizer Bunny's cousin when I'm isn't. But even in that moment, it reminded me of something that my mind is doing a lot, right? Ideas, downloads, visions, planning, building, and there's only one me. I can't wait to. I keep telling people like when people ask me what you doing, I was like my admin's job, my administrative assistant's job. Like for the t-shirt business, I tell people be like when they ask me, "Can you send me the bill?" And I'm like, "The billing department is closed." Because I'm doing a lot, right? So I'm grateful for my customers, that basically work with me in my craziness. But what I realized that in times like this, I feel like this is the time, the season where I'm learning, right? So, um, I can't remember what the mentors used to say, but it was almost as if like do we no learn how to do it, then do it, and then delegate. And I feel as if like right now I'm learning how to do it so that I can eventually delegate. Hey Cynthia. um because for me like I used to be very comfortable. 5 hours was my thing, right? Unless I was sick it would be more, but 5 hours was my thing. And lately I'm getting like 3 hours sometimes of sleep. But I feel like he knows what I need and he gives it to me when I need it. But I'm very, very grateful that I was able to um, revamp, and do a wonderful facelift on the societyofintroverts.com. Please check it out. Anyway, what does this consistently look like for me in 2026? It for me in 2026, I will be continuing the foundation that I built in 2025, believing in myself, trusting my abilities, and knowing that I can, and knowing that I will because I am doing it, right? It looks like staying with myself and her, right? Not abandoning her, not hiding myself from her, and not quitting on her, right? Some days consistency will look like content, some days it will look like rest, because one of the things that I'm also allowing myself to do is if I wake up one morning and I don't feel like doing a message, I won't do a message. There were times when I used to feel so guilty. Like the whole day would pass, I'm like, oh no, I didn't do a message. I feel like it matters. I mean, it matters, but it doesn't matter. Like nobody's sitting at their phone waiting like, where's her message at? Like nobody's doing that, right? Um, and so I'm giving myself the grace and the permission to just be. So I'm enjoying my journey and basically showing up, right? So consistency for me in 2026 will be showing up when I can, how I can, consistently, right? Some days it may look silent, but every day consistency will look like presence, me returning to myself again and again. Consistency doesn't have to shout, it stays. And in the staying, growth happens. And I'm so grateful. I'm grateful also that, um, I'm allowed to be on YouTube where I can grow. Because since I joined YouTube, like when I first joined, I was really afraid. I was always like, even like fearful of doing lives. And now it's like, oh, it's just a thing, even though I haven't done any since before Christmas, because I think I did those the 12 days of Christmas, and that was I don't remember if I did any videos after that. But then we did that marathon New Year's Eve live. It was so much fun though. It was so much fun. But I'm grateful, right? Because by coming on here, by doing my morning messages, and by being consistent with following certain people on YouTube and listening to the messages that are being shared with us. Because I think sometimes people take the messages lightly. Like they'll say, "Oh, what do I need to know?" And they'll say, "You need to do X, Y, Z," and they're like, "Okay," and they don't do it, and then they wonder why no progress. I listen to everything. Like so, every time they say that, well, this is what they're saying. Okay, I'm gonna do it. And I feel like that's what helped me to grow to where I am now. Like I'm I don't know, I can't explain how extremely joyful I am about life right now. There is so much going on in the background. Not back here, in the background of my life. But I'm choosing to just live, right? Because like last week we learned of the passing of four deaths. One of them is a former colleague. I also learned that my mama's, and I may talk up not me, I will talk about this at another in another video. But I learned that my mama's baby daddy is in the hospital and it's not looking good. And honestly, I ain't even gonna front. I had no feelings or emotions towards it. I'll tell you why in another time. Because I'm in a place of peace right now, right? And I feel like introverts spend so much time forcing themselves to fit into spaces and, trying to get people to see them, trying to get people to love them. After a while, the exhausted, I mean, my arm got tired. My arm gets tired of basically extending the olive leaf and, basically holding it out there, hoping that somebody will hold on to it. I ain't doing that no more. Mm-mm. Thank you, Cynthia. I am not doing that anymore. I am choosing me first. I'm choosing her first. Because I feel as if like we spend so much time putting our needs and our wants and our happiness on the back burner. And I was watching a video. I got senior moments all the time, so I don't remember when. I know it was in the past week. So I was watching a video, and I don't even remember what I was gonna say. Dang it! I was watching a video last week. I watch a lot of videos that are helpful, um, and it was about showing up, right? And I there are times when I watch certain videos and it's almost as if like I sit there with, well, I'm not physically doing it, but I feel like I should be sitting there with a, when you're in school and your teacher mark your paper, whatever. And I feel like I'm checking off so many boxes now simply because I'm choosing to be there for me, right? um I'm happy. Like I'm happy. Happiness for everybody looks differently, right? But for me, I am truly happy right now in this very moment because I'm choosing to live, right? Tomorrow isn't promised to anybody, but I am choosing to use my days, my minutes, my seconds wisely. When I sign off of here, I'm gonna go back over to my beautiful blooming community so I can go and see what I need to fine tune and tweak. And I gotta figure out how I'm gonna show up on there every week. I plan to do like monthly newsletters and email them. But I'm grateful that I'm allowing myself to listen. I'm allowing myself to be still long enough to hear the instructions that are being given to me. And I'm grateful for you for tuning in today. I am going to become more consistent with doing these lives because when I tell you I have some ideas, But I will say that before last Monday, because last Monday, by the time I got off of, by the time I stopped working, I was just too tired. And before that, the days when I wanted to, I was busy doing all sorts of every other thing. But I'm going to get back into the habit and pretend as if I'm back doing that 50-day uh, live journey. And except it won't be every day, but I'm going to find my routine so that I can come on, because I think sometimes it helps when we share, right? Because when I tell you, like being on Veronica, Aya inspired tarot on Veronica's lives, and she shares the stories. I'm like, wow, like, I think sometimes we live beautiful, colorful lives, and you know, after she told one last night that was basically touching, regarding her journey, um, and what is it called again? Food. I don't know what it's called, but it's when you really don't have enough food, and when you're able to get it, basically get a lot because you're thinking that you're not going to have have it anymore. But she told like so many stories last night that so many people are able to relate to, and I realized that that's why we're here, right? God gave us our voices for a reason, and I'm now choosing to use it, right? Or not. Or not. Because sometimes, like, now that I'm training, I said to my mom one day, I was like, this is exhausting, because I feel as if like I was just talking too much. Like every day I have to be training. Well, last week it was 3 days every single day training on teams. But anyway, I digress. But I'm grateful. Thank you for stopping in with me today. Please remember to check out the societyofintroverts.com. If you haven't got my book yet, please consider getting. No, consider get my book. Get my book. It's after Christmas, but it still makes a great gift for you and your friend. Um, and also, please join the community on the societyofintroverts.com. I want to basically grow my community and just share things that are valuable to us. I think I used to believe that there is so much information out there, anybody can find anything, but the reality of it is the right people will basically be attracted to my channel, just like how I'm attracted to someone else's. Anyway, thank you once again for being here with me tonight. For those in the chat, I am grateful for you. So thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, Veronica. Thank you, Country Love. And thank you, Cynthia. Yes, Cynthia, you missed a great live last night. And she actually finished before midnight. I was like, dang it. Because let me tell you, when Veronica is on, I think yesterday, what was I doing? I know I did my hair. I don't know if I was doing my hair at that time because I cooked and then I did my hair, twisted it because I washed it earlier, and then I was working on the website, and then I was ironing. I had to pack my lunch and my breakfast for work for the 3 days this week. Um, I was just basically all over the place. So when she said, "All right, last call," and I was like, "Oh no," because I was basically because you know sometimes like for me like it's the entertainment, and sometimes I want to run and go and basically comment on something that she say or comment on her singing or something, like because she'll think of a song, and I think that because we're about the same age, like I'm always one of the ones like, yeah, I remember that. And so sometimes I run for the phone, but I'm just grateful for the connections that I made, and I'm very grateful for Jeannie. Jeannie actually lives here near me here in New York, and Jeannie shared her story with me um, last year. Oh yeah, at this point it is last year. I met Jeannie through an acquaintance a number of years ago, and um, it's amazing how we do attract the people that are meant to be in our spaces, right? Because Jeannie's also introverted, and Jeannie, the next time we're on, I'm gonna remember to basically have my. As a matter of fact, now that the website is basically different, it's a community. I may as well put my because Jeannie had me on the front cover of her magazine, Live Life Better. And I'm grateful for the people who I have in my life who have stories to share. And one of these days, I'm going to ask each and every one of you to volunteer to share your story with me so I can share it with others. So whether it's on the website or on my other channel that I basically got to get back on, which is always on mute, or on here. But somehow or another, we're going to make things happen in 2026 because we need to. We need to and we have to. Anyway, thanks once again to every one of you. Thank you, Mom. And please remember wait, before I go, please remember my book is available at societyofintroverts.com. Unlocking the Introvert, a pocket guide to understanding and interacting with introverts. I am hoping that my channel and my content will help you to understand yourself more so that you can tell people about who you are. Because once I understood myself, it was easier to build boundaries. Anyway, I'm out. Please remember that peace isn't a place, it is a choice. Stay blissful, and I will see you next time. Peace. Oh, thank you, Jeannie. I love you all. Thank you. Take care.